here at the DC Pride March rally protest with
Liam Ginty.
Great. Liam, can you verbally consent to this interview?
I verbally consent to this interview.
Wonderful. Can you tell me a little about yourself, how old you are, where you're from, how you identify?
I'm 28. I am, I guess, bi. I'm from England originally. I live in the DC area. That's pretty much, I think that covers everything you asked, I think. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And what's going on behind us today?
This is my group, or some members of my group. We're called the Socialist Snack Squad, DC. We are a leftist group that shows up to protests, events, community gatherings, organizings to feed people for free. We provide water, snacks, food, all kinds of stuff like that.
Can you describe this flag?
This is, I made this in Photoshop. This is sort of the resist flag, fist. You know, probably everyone's seen that somewhere. I put a fork on it to sort of symbolize that we feed people. The black and red is very classic far leftist stuff, communist, anarchist, that sort of thing. That's sort of our symbol for it. We got it flipped on the badge just because it looks a little better, but yeah.
Yeah, I see. So, you are a founder of the group?
We're like a collective. There's not really one person who runs it, but it was sort of my idea originally, but everyone else sort of works it out. You know, we all figure out what we're all going to do together, that sort of thing.
That's fantastic. And what spurred the creation of this group?
If I say what our group's thing is, we all care a lot about the community. We all saw a need for food being given out to these places. We care about food security. We don't think that you can properly protest or express your political opinions if you're hungry and skipping meals. We all think that food should be free. We all think that water should be free. And so we kind of want to put that into practice. But also, when I was at J20 at the inauguration stuff, Food Not Bombs was handing out potatoes, and it seemed like a really good thing to be doing. So that was sort of the genesis of it.
How do you feel that socialism and snacks intersect?
Well, it's socialism and food. You know, food and socialism kind of go hand in hand throughout all of history. Every single major socialist writer has at one point got some pithy quote about how bread feeds the revolution, or workers need bread and that sort of thing. Mainly my and most of the people here's ideology is that lots of leftist groups, lots of socialist groups hand out flyers and newspapers at events and that sort of thing. And that always felt to me like it maybe misses the overall message. It's not giving anything to the community. It's not showing anyone what our ideology does for you, you know? Whereas us showing up with food, us showing up with snacks, feeding people at the events, that is in a very practical sense showing you what we believe and what we care about. And also that, importantly, we're ready to support whatever the group is that we're supporting, you know, be it immigrants, LGBTQ, whatever it is that we're there standing up for. We're there to support you and give people what they need to do the work that they're doing.
Can you talk a little bit about the intersectionality of socialism and the queer movement?
I don't know any queer people in my friend group that don't at least lean pretty far left already. I think it speaks a lot to the freedoms that people are looking for. I think that the way that class breaks us down and the way that the labor structures are created to oppress people fall apart when under socialist and analyzing, and it's very appealing to LGBTQ people because of that. It is to me, because of those reasons, to know that like standing in solidarity with everybody, with the whole working class, it gives you like a power, it gives you a strength, and you know that there's all these people behind you, and there's all this history behind you and behind your struggle too. In many ways, I think that the socialist struggle in America right now needs to be led by indigenous and colonized people, but in many ways the LGBTQ community is another facet of that too. All oppressed peoples need to be united under some single movement.
Yeah, I totally agree. So can you tell me a little bit about your experience out here handing out snacks today?
People are just really happy to get some food and some, you know, ice water and stuff in their bellies and stuff. I mean, that's really the best we can hope for. You know, we've handed out almost all of our food. We got some potatoes left and everything, and everyone's really thankful. On occasion, at other rallies, maybe some people want to talk to us about it. We've had some conversations about what our group's about. We got a lot of Facebook people joining us, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The overall goal of the group is to sort of make people think of, when you hear socialist, rather than thinking about whatever thought it is that's in your head, we want you to think about those people that handed out some free sandwiches at that rally that one time. You know, that's our goal. We want people to be well fed, we want the community to be supported, and I think that we've been seeing that while we're out here.
So, do you know if you've heard about the No Justice, No Pride movement?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, we were actually supporting them yesterday too. I think that that's also an important movement. I think that, talking about how the businesses that support Pride and what they do every other day of the year that isn't the Pride March, I think is vital. I think it's very important to be aware of things like, Wells Fargo and other banks that overtly are anti-LGBTQ. They have policies in place that oppress our people, and they have things in place to oppress us in every other day of the year. But they show up to Pride, they put a couple dollars in, and they get a float, and they get some goodwill off of that. And the police also, they oppress the minority groups, they oppress, people of color, the trans community, the queer community. They oppress them in, what's the word for it? More than they oppress other groups, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's a word for it, I'm losing it. But they oppress those, and that needs to be made aware of too. I'm glad the Capitol Pride has taken some of this on board, and they're reviewing their policies for this sort of thing. But I think those actions are very important. I think that I was proud to be helping out with those and feeding people at some of their gatherings too.
And then you identify as a bisexual man?
Yeah, that's right.
How do you feel being here as a bisexual man on this historic Pride Day?
It's wonderful. It's great to see people out. It's always great to be around your people.
Yeah.
It's always nice. And it's nice to have a space and a time when everyone can be overtly what they are. You spend a lot of time sort of hiding that, or at least keeping it suppressed. Even I know a lot of people who are open who still kind of feel the need to keep it, under wraps a little bit in their day-to-day. And it's just beautiful to come out and see people, flamboyantly, whatever it is that they are.
Yeah.
It's great.
Is there anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I'm glad to be here. Solidarity with everybody, here at the event and every group, and I'm glad to help. I hope to see you all at whatever other gathering you guys turn up at.
All right, great. Thank you so much for talking to me.
No problem. Thanks a lot.